See that? That will charge you guys. That the other class is free. This one, this is a technical class, right? All right. So it's Mina. So the title was, but the issue is that you have to be consistent with the titles as well.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah.
And you're okay with doing all of that? You good? Or you need somebody to be on Zoom to?
Yeah. So this is
Oh, I couldn't find the book.
really.
Yeah.
It was there, but let me see.
But I could like look off for them if that's okay.
No. Why isn't it? Is it live already? Okay. All right. Well, I guess we just. I think it is live. Let me see. Yeah, it is live.
You on Zoom?
I'm just in person now, just taking.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Because sometimes it's good to have somebody on because sometimes if they can't hear.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess you can.
Did you send it in the WhatsApp?
Yeah. So that's a good point. I'll resend it, inshallah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna resend Bismillah. I'm gonna resend where is this thing? Schedule. Okay, here we go. Yes. So what was the link again? Did we use? I think we used.
Rashid Abdul Malik.
Nah, you're not here, bro. You gotta sit this one out.
Oh. All right. So just can you look on the essentials to see the link? Because it's not opening to how to share. I'm gonna just
For the YouTube or the Zoom?
for the YouTube, yeah. Just look for it and okay. So alhamdulillah, we have. So for those that logged in, inshallah, if you can also you logged in, so if you can just share the link, inshallah, that would be good because you're already on, inshallah. Okay. So let me just, and then we'll start right away. All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I think we should start. This takes a little bit of time, but it's okay. It's good.
You sent the Zoom.
We have sent it before, so there's some people that are already logged in. So Azim, Jonathan, if you're there, inshallah, can you please share the link if you have it, the link for Zoom on the group page?
Okay, no doubt.
All right, barakallah fiqh. So, Bismillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. In the name of Allah, may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon his final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his companions and all those who follow him until the day of judgment. So last week we summarized what we covered the first session, which was what is a matan, what is the text, who is Abi Shuja, his own introduction, and we summarized also the introduction of Imam Shafi rahimahullah ta'ala. So you can use this. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today we're gonna do 1, 2, and 3. The tannin. So we did and I'll get you the book later, inshallah.
Sure.
So then we also covered, we explained what's a matan. So I wanted to show you all this. So this is, made this little library. Okay. This is like a dictionary that focuses on the root word, mukhtar as-suhat, which is like similar to the structure of Lisan al-Arab. So when you're gonna look for a word, you'll find the root word, and then you get all the branches of all the meanings. This is in Arabic, and then you have. This is, for example, the famous book Kitab al-Tawheed, right? This is also a matan, is also a text, right? And there's also this is Qatl al-Nada, right? So Qatl al-Nada is in Arabic grammar, and then you have Alfiya bin Malik. Alfiya bin Malik is also, we studied the explanation of this 3 years in Egypt, right? Then you have the explanation of the 40 Hadith Imam al-Nawawi by Ibn Uthaymeen in this little book. There's the explanation of the whole book. And then the explanation of the 40 Hadith Imam al-Nawawi by Ibn Daqiq al-Eid. There's the whole explanation. And then this is the little text. This is all of Arabic Hadith terminologies. This is all here. So we memorize it. Alhamdulillah musalliyan ala Muhammadin khayri nabiyyin ursila wa dhi min aqsam al-hadith idda. So it's like 38 lines. We study that. Then this is Umdat al-Ahkam. Umdat al-Ahkam contains, this is used in the Hanbali fiqh, but it's basically 410 hadith. If I'm correct, let me see if I'm correct. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. No, 430 hadith. Close. 430 hadith, all about in order of fiqh from Bukhari and Muslim. But this is so these are proofs that are used in the Hanbali fiqh, but also in any as well. And then this is two methods of fiqh. One, Shurut al-Salah, the conditions of Salah, by Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab. The conditions of Salah is a small text. And then you have Zad al-Mustaqna is here too. This is Zad al-Mustaqna. So this is in Hanbali fiqh. So we're studying Shafi fiqh, but this is very close because Imam Ahmad studied with Imam Shafi, so they just vary in some of the rulings. And then you have, let me put this here. This is not it. Then this is a little text on, this is called the research on inheritance. Okay. And then you have, this one is Matan al-Waraqat and Usul al-Fiqh. These are the sources of how to derive rulings. So you have fiqh, which is knowing the rulings, right? The conclusions. And this is one of the sources that you use for proofs for those rulings. Okay. Then we have Usul al-Fiqh by Sheikh Saadi rahimahullah ta'ala, the teacher of Sheikh Uthaymeen. And then you have Tuhfat al-Atfal in Tajweed. So these are some. I have another one, but I just didn't want to bring them all. But this is the base. And then we go through the explanations of these texts, for years to try to master this, because then you get the skeleton for the subject. That's the idea. It's like you're studying the table of content, you study it, and then you know what chapters first, second, third. So you then you go into more details and you learn. And I know this is a traditional way of learning. I'm just showing you this is how, you get the base, and then you start building and adding meat to the bones gradually with explanations, scholarly explanations, and so on. All right, so let's get to the subject, inshallah ta'ala. So who is Abi Shuja? We covered the first, right, which is Al-Miyahu allati yajuzu biha tathiru sab'u miyah. The water that you can purify yourself with is 7. Ma'u sama, water from the sky, right? Rain. Wama'ul bahr, water from the sea. Wama'ul nahar, water from the river. So this pure. Well water is pure. Wama'ul bi'r, well water. Wama'ul ayn, spring water. Wa thalj, snow. Wa barad, hail. So these are the 7. These are called ma'ul mutlaq. Mutlaq is that by nature they're pure. By nature they're pure. And this purity, right? We have, health concerns, for example, for drinking rainwater, right? So, but it's pure enough to allow you to worship. Okay, so if you don't have water for wudu and it's raining, you just go grab and you do wudu with that water. Okay, So it's very practical. Like if you're in Puerto Rico and you're driving and in Puerto Rico every time, like around Asr time, it always rains, right? And you're stuck, your car broke down, you need to pray, right? All these scenarios. So then, so we covered that and we share some of the proofs. The general proofs, وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مُبَارَكًا. We descended from the heavens water that's pure. We also descended water لِيُطَهِّرَكُمْ بِهِ, so that you can purify yourself with it. And all of these sources, a lot of them come from the sky, right? And then also the hadith, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The hadith is Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala sa'ala rajulu Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam qala ya Rasulullah about the water from the sea. We ride the sea, we ride the sea, meaning we ride the boat in the sea. Narkab al-bahr. We don't ride the sea. Walaikum salam, Daniel. Nice to see you. If you get more people from Reading, then we call this spot, we change the name to. It's just, I gotta encourage you guys, because, mashallah, may Allah accept. So here the Prophet ﷺ was asked, when I'm on the sea, وَنَحْمِلُ مَعْنَا قَلِيلٌ مِنَ الْمَاءِ, and I have a little bit of water. And فَإِن تَوَدَّعْنَا بِهِ عَطَشْنَا. If we make wudu with that little bit of water that we have left to drink, and then we will go thirsty. Sometimes you go like deep sea fishing, right? And because you're so tired of preparing the bait and all of these strategic tools that you need to fish, and you forgot the case of water, and you're deep, and you just got the one that you're carrying yourself, right? So he was asked, if we have this little water and we may wudu with it, we will go thirsty. فَقَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. So he was asked, he said, can I make wudu with the water from the sea? The Prophet ﷺ said, هُوَ الطَّهُورُ مَاؤُهُ وَحِلُّ مَيْتَتَهُ. So its water is pure and its dead are pure, right? So it's different than the regular animal that dies on its own, like a lamb or a sheep dies on its own. Meita, that's forbidden. But the fish, if it dies and it's still like in decent shape, right? Then it's allowed. It's halal. Then we talked about the four. So al-ma' al-mutlaq is what we mentioned above, right? The four parts, the four categorization of water, right? Purifies, is not disliked. وهو الماء المطلق. It's the all of the above, right? The one that that's on the screen, right? That's the pure water, and is not disliked to use. And then purifies, but it disliked, and this is the water that's exposed to a lot of sun, typically in a land that is very, very hot, where they reserve the water in a barrel that's made of steel or copper, and all this sun is like really almost boiling, like you have 110, like in Iraq and all these places that it becomes very hot. So the concern was, it is disliked to use, it's not forbidden. It purifies, it's not forbidden. It is disliked because it could cause you some harm. And then طاهر وهو طاهر وغير مطهر وهو ماء المستعمل. Pure and doesn't purify is the water that is used, right? So here number 2 في رفع الحديث دليل كون طاهر. So it is pure to remove an impurity, right? As is related by Imam Muslim. And the other hadith by Jabir ibn Abdullah, جاء رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يعودني وأنا مريض لا أعقل فتودى وصب الماء عليه. So basically, the one who's explaining, Sheikh Mustafa al-Bugha, Hafidahullah, he's saying that the like this, the proof from the, because this is a sheikh that's still alive, right? So that based on what has been discovered after the author of this text is that used water is permissible, and he shared the proof from Bukhari and Muslim. He's saying that Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anhu said that Ja'a Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that he was sick. Jabir ibn Abdullah was sick, and the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came. So he made wudu, and with the remaining of the wudu, he poured on him as a treatment. So then, والمتغير من الخالة ومن الطاهرات, and then also the water that is pure but changes one of the three features. Like, for example, you put some Kool-Aid on water and you're trying to use that water for wudu, then that's no longer water. It became Kool-Aid because it became red. So if it changes one of the three characteristics, one, lawnuhu, the color; two, ta'amuhu, the taste; three, the smell. Right? If it changes any of these three features, there's no longer water. Okay? If something solid falls on it and it can be removed and it didn't change any of these conditions, then it's still pure. If something impure, solid, fell in it, and it's more than a qullatain, as it was described, 216 liters, right? Like, a barrel of water. If something impure falls into it, qullatain is a measurement in Iraq, right? 500 ritlin in Baghdad, right? That's the measurement. So if something impure falls on a barrel, right, and you're able to remove it, it doesn't impurify it. Then ma'un najas, the impure, so that's what we mentioned. The ma'un najas is that which is impurified with something less than the amount of water in the barrel. And then we have, for example, like if you find an animal, or let's say like a mouse fell in the barrel and is dead, right? Just saying, right? And you can take it out, and is that amount of water? You could just scoop it out, right? But it doesn't. There's too much water to be contaminated, right? We know it's nasty, but I'm just saying, right? But we're also like the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, for example, about the fly. He said, if a fly falls on the water, right, then just dip it in and then take it out. It's not because it's tea. Right?
So it's the same thing.
Right? I know, but he said, this is what he said. He wasn't a doctor. He wasn't a pharmacist. He said, in one of the wings is the disease, and in the other wing is the cure. So that's what he said, right? So, but you're free to choose if you want to do it. It's not obligatory. That's how we learn fiqh, right? To know the ahkam. All right. So next is julud al-mayt. جلود الميتة وجلود قال المؤلف رحمه الله تعالى وجلود الميتة تطهر بالدباغ إلا جلد الكلب والخنزير وما تولد منهما أو من أحدهما وعظم الميتة وشعرها نجس إلا الآدمي. Okay, so now you go ahead, Kevin. You can read the English, the tanning, this one.
Right here.
Yeah.
Hides of unslaughtered animals are purified through tanning, except for the hides of dogs, pigs, and the offspring of both of them or one of them with a pure animal. The bones and hair of unslaughtered animals are filth except from human beings.
Good. So here, وجلود الميتة تطهر بالدباغ. الدباغ as is related by Imam Muslim rahimahullah ta'ala عن عبد الله بن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا ذبغ الإهاب فقد طهر. الإهاب الجلد. If you tan the skin, right? If you then the tanning is that process of removing the impurities from it. Like the water is a source of removing impurity. Tanning is a source of removing impurity from the skin. And like Siwak is also a tool for removing impurities. So then he mentions إلا جلد الكلب وخنزير, except the skin of a dog and a pig. وما تولد منهما أو من أحدهما وعظم ميتة وشعرها نجس إلا الآدمي. So here, when it says, except the dog and the pig, لأن كلا منهما نجس حال حياته فلا يدخل جزءه بعد الممات. So it's impure according to the Shafi school. By nature, right? It's impure, and therefore alive is impure and dead is impure. Of course, there's khilaf about the impurity of the dog, based on from the four schools, and one of the opinions of the Maliki school is that it is not, and they have their conditions. Now, so therefore, and then it also mentions, and the bones of the dead and its hairs are impure except the human being. So, لقوله تعالى حرمت عليكم الميتة. الميتة, every animal that died on its own without sacrificing it, شرعا. And then in it also ما لا يؤكل لحمه إذا ذبح كالحمار وما يؤكل لحمه إذا لم تتوفر الشروط الذبح كذبيحة المرتاد وإن لم يكن فيه الضرر بالصحة عليه فتحريم الميتة دليل نجاسته لأنه تحريم. So he mentions that in the Shafi school is that if the dead is an animal that you do not eat, then that the skin does not become permissible. Also, like the donkey, and there's a difference between the donkey. In Arabic, there is a himar and himar wahshi. Himar wahshi is the zebra, but it has the same name, himar. But there's also another position, for example, which is, let's say, the skin of fox or the wolf or crocodiles, alligator skin, right, for the shoes, for the cool shoes in Louisiana, right? And so here it mentions that even eating it, that, for example, if you can tell somebody in Louisiana or in the South that eating crocodile or crawfish is not allowed, you might not come out alive of that area, because it's like sacred. It's like something that there's so much, like same like in Florida, right? That also people rely on. What would these big the stores that sell the boots and all of these things, like for horse riding, and right? So it's really, so if it's cultural that people eat it, right, then that shouldn't be taken away from the people, right? Also the skin, if it brings some benefit, right, it brings some benefit. Like, for example, in some cold places, they use any skin just to stay warm, right? So therefore, in the Shafi school, they mentioned those two things. It doesn't mean that they didn't know that wolves existed,
Mhm.
right? So they knew that these animals existed, but it wasn't mentioned. So that's where it's, there's the ruling of what you're permissible to use it, the skin of, is that which you can eat, right? That's one angle.
Mhm.
The other is that you can use any skin, for example, in the Shafi madhab, you can any skin besides the pig and the dog, right? So that also gives us flexibility.
Mhm.
And then other positions, whether it is, beneficial and it's necessary,
Mhm.
then, but if it's just for business, that's a different story. Right. If it's just like, for like some people, they will sell dog skin, usually in the urban cities. They'll sell a leather jacket and then you look inside and it's made from dog skin, things like that. And the way the animals are treated as well. So all of these are taken in consideration. But here what is mentioning is that the tanning process is a way of purifying the skin, right? The tanning process is a way of purifying the skin, and therefore, that's just a practice. That's the way of purifying it. Al-Adami, in regards of the human being by nature is pure. Okay, by nature is pure. And when he dies, yes, we make ghusl and we prepare him but it doesn't mean that the human being becomes impure because of death. By nature, by birth, he's pure, and by death, he's pure. And Allah says, وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, Surah Al-Isra, verse 80. وَهَذَا يَتَنَافَى مَعَ الْقَوْلِ بِنَجَاسَةِ بَعْدَ مَوْتِهِ. And this is what confirms, and it is a proof against the statement that the human being becomes impure after it died. Then we have also, Bismillah. That's weird. It's connected to the internet.
Just give us 1 second with the internet on his computer.
No, it's supposed to be connected. It never does that. It turned, well, it's updating Zoom, mashallah. The whole 9 yards, like everything is open up. Look at that, mashallah. Looks like somebody else is helping me control my computer. I'm not suspicious, but
Yeah, you went out.
yeah.
You're not on here anymore.
Yeah, mashallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Just give us 1 second. He's logging back on.
Yeah, I got it.
Mashallah.
I had to use my cell phone because I got a Zoom update when I tried to log in the first time.
All of these things popped up, right?
Hmm.
Ignore, okay. Bismillah. Join, okay. Is it still on YouTube, maybe? Yeah.
Were you on YouTube, Kevin? Or no?
No, I'll check it in a minute, second. Bismillah.
Oh, you're back on now. Okay. All right. Alhamdulillah.
Bismillah. All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still live on YouTube. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Bismillah. So we did so here the next one is فصل ولا يجوز استعمال أواني ذهب والفضة ويجوز استعمال غيرهما من الأواني. So go ahead, Sister Mariah, read the one about the utensils. The next one.
It is permissible to use gold or silver containers. And yeah, it is permissible to use containers made from other expensive materials.
Good. So in this one, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, this one is. All right. So it is permissible to use containers of gold and silver. To not use. It is not permissible to use containers of gold and silver, but it is permissible to use any containers or utensils from other materials. And it was related by Salama, radiallahu ta'ala anha, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever drinks from a vessel of gold or silver has only filled his stomach with the fire of hell. And another Hudayfa radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, don't wear dibaj, silk, and don't drink from vessels of gold and silver. So the dibaj is a type of silk. So here, if the utensils or the pot or the awani, the trays, if they are gold plated or silver plated, but the original material is it's not that, then that's a different ruling. It's saying if it's pure, like this is a pure gold plate, 14 karat, 18 karat, then yes. So it's the same thing as wearing a gold colored chain. Yes, there is concerns about the tashabbuh, the imitating others, because we're trying to, right? But if we're gonna go by the ruling, right, what is the ruling is that if it's not gold, then the ruling changes. Right, that's that aspect. But in regards of imitating and all that, that's a different story, which we try to stay away from. Now, also, يقاس على الأكل الشرب وغيرهما من وجوه استعماله. So this is, for example, as the Prophet ﷺ said, that لا تلبسوا الحرير, right? لا تلبسوا الحرير, don't wear silk, ولا الدباج, and don't. So there's different types of silk. ولا الدباج, ولا تشربوا في آنية الذهب والفضة, and don't drink from a cup or any type of utensil, right, or silverware that is gold or silver. ولا تأكلوا في صحافها, and don't eat from their trays as well. فإنها لهم في الدنيا, this is for others that don't share our faith in this world. وَلَنَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ, and it is reserved for us in the akhirah. So the wearing of silk and the using of silk, that's for men, not for women. All right, women can wear silk hijabs, and all that. That's and silk clothes. Now, for example, let's say you have a tie, and the majority of it is polyester. Maybe it has like 5% silk. And that's allowed, right? Right. If it's like sometimes you're gifted a nice name brand tie, right? If you can get 100% polyester, that's fine. But sometimes it's just a little bit, maybe just a little thread or something like that, right? So, but if one can avoid it, it's better. It's better. So that's about the utensils, and anything else is pure. Stainless steel is pure. Now it's mentioned gold and silver. What about if I say, somebody gifted me silverware made of platinum? Platinum is more expensive than gold. I worked in the business, so I know, right? So he is not mentioning about the value. He's mentioning about the material, so it's permissible.
Actual metal itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for example, like now, let's say you wanna ask your wife, I want a platinum ring, right? I don't want a silver ring. I want a platinum ring. I want you to show me that you care, right? Kind of, right? It's it might be more expensive than your ring, but that's what I want, right? We make a push it too, right? We make a push it too, but therefore, is it halal? It's permissible. But now, if it's extravagance, then that can take a different ruling. You see that? Extravagance is not to please your wife by wearing the ring, right? But extravagance is like you got one ring, now you got 2 or 3 other rings that have nothing to do with marriage and politics, marriage politics, so if it's extravagance, yeah, then we should be a little bit, but it's not forbidden per se, right? Same like diamonds. They say you have a ring, a platinum ring, and you say I want a carat on it too. You have the right to ask for, and you might have a certified diamond, and it's like minimum 4Gs, 5Gs, certified with the little numbers inside that you have to use a magnifying glass to see it. All right. I'm saying it because Danny's about to get married. So I'm just trying to train him before. Hey, Daniel, you can ask for the diamond and just say, I want it certified. And then Imam Daniel can inspect it. I don't, so alhamdulillah. And the next one, Fasl. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. God, Hudayfa Faslun. We're going to break it down in two parts, right? Siwaku, the Siwak, right? Yeah, I'm going to read it first in Arabic. والسواك مستحب لكل في كل حال. So let me just go back a little bit, right? A little bit. Because we're talking about rulings, right? So the first one was the ruling of tanning, right? And it says tanning purifies the hide, right? The إلا الكلب والخنزير, except the pig and then the dog, right? So now, therefore, that means that it is forbidden, according to the school, that to tan, the skin of the dog and the pig. Okay, so we're gonna go because that's what the whole thing is about. And the second is, what is the ruling of using utensils or trays or even, right, of gold and silver? La yajuz, it's forbidden as well. It's not permissible. So that's the ruling. But you can use anything else, right? So now we're talking about siwak. What is the ruling? The ruling is that it's recommended. The Prophet ﷺ, if it wouldn't be too difficult, the Prophet ﷺ said, if it wouldn't be too difficult on my ummah, I would have made it obligatory for them to use the siwak. In America, they don't sell siwak in Walmart. They don't sell siwak in Costco. They don't, right? You
Not
know,
yet.
and not yet. Now, brothers be bringing siwak, but pretty soon you need to inspect the siwak whether they're original or they're not, or they're from another tree that looks like it, right? People make business out of anything. So that's so. The next one is using siwak, right? Using a siwak. وَالسِّوَاكُ mustahab. So the ruling is mustahab. Mustahab is sunnah. All right? It's recommended. It's also used as it's recommended. So that's sunnah. في كل حال, under all circumstances. Meaning, so when I was with my sheikh, before starting to read a book, we'll use the siwak. Because now I'm going to read, right? So, so you take a moment and you want to read this knowledge, right? So you honor it, and you're going to stand up for salah. Some people, they do it right when they're standing up for salah, right? And it might not be pleasant to someone that's next to you that you're going like this with your toothbrush, right? And then after that, and you're going deep, and then you're putting it there and you're praying next to each other. And then that same siwak falls on the floor. And right, these are just scenarios. It is better that when you make wudu, when you're washing your mouth, you use the siwak, you use water, you rinse it, right? And then you put it away, right? One of the things is that we do not try to annoy our neighbors in the saf, in the row for prayer. We have to be considerate. That's what a mu'min does. Sometimes if we want to stop somebody because we're annoyed, and we say, let's say, sister, can you not do this here? Or brother, can you not do this here? They might snap. What, you want me not to do the sunnah? You want me to, right? So, you both mean well, but it's just like how to do it. That's not the time, right? We're about to start prayer. You don't want to get the person busy thinking about your concern and be like, well, what is this sister doing? And then she's busy with the sunnah and forgetting Allah, right? Because she's got distracted. So, it's good to choose the right time. You can, after salah, you can go to him or go to her and say, brother, it'll be better. And this is, if it's local here, say, brother, Imam Daniel said that if you want to, use the siwak, just, use it in wudu when you're making wudu, and avoid annoying anybody that's next to you in the saf, because we have to take care of each other, right? So, but the siwak is preferred under all circumstances. You go into your home, before entering your home, you're going to see your spouse, you use siwak. So he doesn't smell, not to hide what you ate. Brothers be trying to do that. Like, I don't want to tell her I ate because she cooked. But my brother Hudayfa invited me to eat, and we were grubbing. So I don't want no evidences. That's not the sunnah. Okay, Daniel? The sunnah is you have to be honest with your spouse. But this is now the actions are judged by the intention. You're doing it because now you want to meet your spouse with a pleasant breath. Except when it is not recommended. Illa ba'd zawal. What is the zawal? In the past, they didn't have clocks or watches, so they will use this. They will use like a stick. Okay, they will use the stick. And then when the sun is rising, when the sun reaches here, right at the peak, during that time, you shouldn't pray. The zawal is when the sun passes the meridian a little bit, this is called the meridian, right? When the sun passes a little bit, it moves a little bit from being directly, and then they used to put the like a stick, and that's how they would know. If it moved a little bit, you can tell, and then that's when Dhuhr begins. So after this zawal, it is not recommended. That's like close with zawal, and because that's usually the time that you eat. Right? And some people they make these cool siwaks with flavor, like mint flavor and lemon flavor. So now you do siwak and you're fasting and you break your fasts. Okay, so be careful. And so therefore, and the siwak itself has flavor, right? So that's why it says bad illa ba'd zawal li sa'im, after the zawal for the person fasting. If you're not fasting, you can do it after when the Dhuhr time enters. وهو في ثلاثة مواضع أشد استحبابا. And there's 3 occasions when it is strongly recommended, strongly sunnah, right? Which is in the تغير الفم من عزم وغيره, when your breath changed. Sometimes you didn't drink a lot of water. Sometimes you ate something that's strong, right? So you should use it, right? To neutralize that smell. عند تغير الفم من عزم وغيره. If it changed from any عند القيام من النوم, and when you stand up from sleep, when you wake up from sleep, وعند القيام إلى الصلاة, and when you go to pray. So now let's look at some of the proofs, right? And Nasai rahimahullah ta'ala said, عن عائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال السواك مطهرة للفم, it purifies the mouth, مرضاة للرب, and it is pleasing to Allah. Okay, so that's that, and this is related by Nasai. Okay. Number, yes. And also is related by Bukhari. And then it defines what is the siwak. And then number 3 is about after the zawal is sa'im. It was related by Bukhari and Muslim. That means it's muttafaq alayh. Okay. For example, in Bukhari is hadith number 1795. In Muslim is 1151. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لخلوف فم الصائم أطيب عند الله من ريح المسك. The breath of the fasting person is more pleasing to the Lord than the smell of musk. So al-khuluf is when the breath changes the smell. When you're fasting, that's pleasing to Allah, right? Then so therefore that's why it's recommended not to do it after the zawal, because if you do it, then that breath you're taking it away, which is pleasing to Allah. Okay. لازم 4 من عزم وغيره لعزم السكوت الطويل أو ترك الأكل والشرب غير الفم العزم وغيره. So العزم is when you like العزم وغيره is that you either were didn't speak a lot and your breath changed, or because of you're hungry, and you have the acid reflux and all that. So the next is عند القيام عند تغير الفم. So the first is when the breath changes, that's highly recommended to use a siwak. And the second is when you wake up from sleep. It was related in Bukhari and Muslim and others as well. عن حذيفة رضي الله تعالى عنه that كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا قام من الليل, when he will wake up for tahajjud, for the night prayer, right? Tahajjud. Yashusu fahus bisiwak. He will clean his mouth with the siwak. And Abu Dawood related, and others, عن عائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان لا يرقد من الليل ولا النهار فيستيقظ إلا تسوك قبل أن يتوضأ. So here now we can use this as a proof for what the Imam recommended, right? That the Prophet ﷺ, Aisha, his wife, who saw, may Allah be pleased with her, who saw the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, said that the Prophet ﷺ did not wake up at night or during the day when he took a nap, except that he will use the siwak before he made wudu. So now you can use that as a proof. Right? You're gonna push the proof. This is the proof. The proof is that the Prophet said, not Imam says, leave Imam out of it. The Prophet said that the Aisha said that the Prophet used to use the siwak before making wudu. So if you're gonna tell somebody on the side, not before salah, because you're on this strike, but after salah, brother or sister, I just want to tell you something. There's an authentic hadith that the Prophet ﷺ used to, as his wife reported, if it's a sister, it's good to hear the wife word. The wife of the Prophet ﷺ said that whenever the Prophet woke up in the morning or in the evening, he would use the siwak before going to pray. Before making wudu, not before going to pray. That would have ended the proof. Right? That would be a contradiction. No, the hadith is, that's how I like to look at what I'm reading, because sometimes you slip. So it says, used to make the siwak qabla an yatawadda, before making the wudu. Okay. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. How much time do we have? It's actually good timing, but we can open it up for, if there is some questions, inshallah, we can do that. Let me just mark it here. So the next section, inshallah, is going to be about furud al-wudu. All right? The pillars of wudu and the sunnahs of wudu. So the furud al-wudu, the pillars are 6 and the sunnah are 10, according to the Shafi'iyya, right? So we do that. We do the sunnahs because it's a little bit long, and then the next one will be etiquettes of using the restroom, right? Etiquettes of using the restroom, and etiquettes of purification after using the restroom. And then he will go into what invalidates the wudu, right? And then will be the obligations of ghusl. So if there is any questions, we can entertain them for a little bit, inshallah.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
It's kind of fiqh related.
Mhm.
It's about like the gold and silver, but this applies to like jewelry and like pendants. Like, so I wear like a pendant with like the shahada on it, and there was a brother at like the mosque in Stroudsburg who says like I shouldn't.
Don't be specific. A mosque, yeah. Listen, you got too many people here from Strasbourg, man. You want to make it home.
Yeah, at an unknown location.
Yes.
But he told me that like I shouldn't be wearing like watches or pendants because it imitates like women. I wanted to like hear your ruling on that because like I've had people like non-Muslim friends ask me what this means, and it ended up with them like wanting Qurans, so I was able to get them. So it like served a benefit, but I also want to like hear your opinion if it's like feminine for like, or it's haram for even men to wear like pendants and like stuff like that.
And you said watches too, right?
Yeah, he said watches as well.
So I'm gonna read to you something briefly, right?
Yeah.
Right, so that the imam doesn't have to say it.
Yeah.
No, it's a qaida, it's a legal axiom, right?
Mhm.
The legal axiom says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All the way up front, okay. الأصل للإباحة ما لم يرد دليل على التحريم. The base of permissibility
Mhm.
is whatever there's not a clear, explicit text that forbids it.
Mhm.
So the person that's bringing that up should bring the evidence for that statement,
Mhm.
right? So, in the States, there is like, for example, there is the culture varies and changes,
Mhm.
right? There was a time when the froze were like it, right? And then there was a time when that culture and that toned down. Now you have our youth rocking it again. It
Mhm.
came back, right? All of that, and COVID helped with that too,
Mhm.
right? Because people started all of a sudden everybody's not going to the barber shop and just letting their hair grow,
Yeah.
right? So there's things that are cultural, and if we, like, again, I always go back to this. We have to choose between. It's just being careful
Mhm.
between using it and something you're young and you want to mix with the crowd and all that. And it's silver, you're not using gold, and actions are judged by the intention. What is your intention? Are you intending to imitate women and so on, right? It's just like all of these questions come to mind.
Mhm.
So now, in regards of the Arabic, in regards of the name of Allah,
Mhm.
the Prophet ﷺ had his ring, and his ring had Muhammad
Mhm.
in the bottom, Muhammad, Rasul, the second line,
Mhm.
Allah, the third line.
Mhm.
So his ring had the name of Allah. So he taught us how to deal with it. And it was a silver ring, and he wasn't imitating the women.
Mhm.
Okay. And he had multiple rings actually.
Mhm.
So he had multiple rings with stones that were gifted to him. If you read the Shama'il, you learn about that, the description of the Prophet ﷺ and his rings. So he will say either you take it off
Mhm.
or you turn it inside out
Mhm.
and you cover whatever Arabic is there,
Mhm.
and then you use the rest.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yeah, I've been tucking it into my shirt, and then would that be allowed as well?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
covering it.
Mhm.
You're covering it, right? Now, for example, let's say the question comes, somebody has, we'll go with it. Let's say, I'll just use a book, right? Like here, right? Somebody has this, I don't know who moved to the masjid, but
Yeah, I was watching.
yeah, I was here last. No, it's okay.
It's
So,
probably from the Chicago trip last
yeah. I'm about to charge rent. So I have one of these, right? This is in Egypt, they have these, right? So this is a pocket-sized Quran. It's not an amulet, right? It's not just, so it's literally the whole Quran,
Whoa.
okay?
Oh,
And we would take these books when I used to be able to see as good, right? And we would come and read it. And it's legible, you can read it. It's the same thing, same print, okay?
It's free.
I didn't know.
Right? Okay. Right? So, now I'll be using the big ones, right? Just to kind of like be able to. So the thing is, this let's say somebody has that Quran,
Mhm.
and now you're going to the mall. Where are you gonna put it?
Your
Put it in your pocket.
pocket.
You're going to the restroom. You're going to the restroom. Where are you gonna put it? Are you gonna leave it outside?
No.
Where somebody can take it and just put it in the garbage?
Mhm.
Or somebody can take it and do something to it, right? And break it because this is Arabic and they're just right. And then you're accountable for leaving it outside.
Mhm.
They're not accountable because they're not Muslim. You're accountable.
Mhm.
So because of that, to prevent the harm and to safeguard it, you put it in your pocket.
Mhm.
You understand? You put it in your pocket. If you have a bag, you put it in your bag.
Mhm.
If you're in the mall and you see a brother that has a phone spot and it's alaikum, brother, can I just leave the Quran here for a minute and use the restroom?
Mhm.
That's okay,
Mhm.
right? The thing is, so the thing is just being responsible with it. But people are gonna say all types of things, and you have a lot of youth that where you have people that try to make business and mashallah in conferences and sell all these type of things, right? These the chains and the bracelets and the name of Allah and and so on. So if we're gonna stop that, then you're not giving an alternative. They're gonna wear something else that has no dhikr of Allah, nothing. You understand? So if they choose to buy something that says La ilaha illallah, then what's the issue? Right? Then what's the issue? So it's matter of the way of the Prophet ﷺ. Yassiru wa la tu'assiru. Make things easy, don't make things difficult. Priority is the person that's recommending you that. Does he know your name? Has he broke bread with you? Do you know his name? You understand? Does he know that, you just came to Islam, like let's say a year, 2 years ago, right? Does he know that? No, he doesn't know that. So it's a matter of before advising, you should know who you're talking to. You understand? Before advising, before recommending, you should know who you're talking to. Because you need to understand who you're talking to so that you can kind of gauge the advice. Let's say the person is struggling. The person is rocking chains and rocking out the whole 9 yards, everything. A brother comes to the masjid wearing tight pants and tight shirt, and the shirt is short, and and he has chains and he has earrings and he has everything, and right, and he's coming to the masjid. You come and say, brother, the earrings are haram, and the tight pants are haram, and the shirt is haram. And then let's say he tells you, yeah, what about leaving salah? Is leaving salah halal? What about he leaves the masjid, doesn't come to the masjid? What about if this is the only time that he came to the masjid on his own to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And he's struggling and he needs Allah. He doesn't need you, with all due respect. He needs Allah and he's looking for it. If I don't know the reality of this individual, why am I pushing him away without knowing? You understand? If people have left the masjids, sometimes because of those type of experiences, because we don't know. Hospitals would not be hospitals without sick people. Imagine if the hospitals just kick out all the sick people just to keep the hospital pure and clean and ideal, right? The masjids are spiritual hospitals. Okay? And that's why we have to be patient. And then everybody cannot be a doctor. So not everybody should diagnose. The doctors, before they diagnose, they get to know the patient, they get to know the condition, they ask a whole bunch of questions. And by your answers, he kind of has an idea of what's going on with you. It's not that you're telling him, but it's just, yeah. So the same thing as muftis, the same things as imams that take that approach is that they try to understand the people. And somebody comes in, if I see somebody that I don't know, that I'll go introduce myself. The person I'm traveling, okay, cool. Let's welcome him. Mashallah, so-and-so is traveling. Let's make dua for him that he has a good trip. I'm not going to look at, because we go to another hadith. Inna Allah la yanzuru. Allah doesn't look. The Prophet said, Inna Allah la yanzuru ila ajsamikum wa suwarikum. Allah does not look at your bodies or your appearances. Walakin yanzuru ila qulubikum. He looks at your heart. So no human being has the ability to look at your heart. Right? So is that now if you're talking, for example, to a person, let's say like a born Muslim who grew up in the community that we know, and he considers you as his uncle and this and that, then uncle can come and bring him to the side and say, hey, if dad is busy and not around, and this brother knows him as an uncle type, he can advise him, hey, why are you wearing this? Why are you wearing that? Like, and that's that tribal pressure, and that usually works. Like in Egypt, it works. Like this tribal pressure, because everybody's like, this is not the way we dress in the village, right? And that's how it is. So, but if the person doesn't know the person, not even their name, not their condition, then we should just refrain, And again, everything is allowed
Mm-hmm.
in Islam unless proven otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
right? In worship, everything is forbidden unless proven otherwise. That means that we can't make up the way of worshiping.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're learning that. We cannot, so these acts of purification is to help us be successful in our worship. So we know that when we go pray, we're pure,
Mm-hmm.
right? That when we eat, we're following these pure steps because Allah is tayyib, وَلَا يَقْبَلُ إِلَّا طَيِّبًا. Allah is pure and He does not accept the pure,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's why we're making this effort. And at-tahur, purification, shatrul iman, it's half a faith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's half a faith. So it's extremely important. So this is why some people say, no, let's just go to salat. These are important things,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the etiquettes of using the bathroom, the etiquettes, some recommendations, right? Like for example, we'll get to that later. Let me not go forward. But that's that.
I
So
think Tom had a question. I think he
yes,
had his
go
hand
ahead. Go ahead, Tom. Yeah, anybody has a question online? Sister Jasmine, sorry for not calling you out to read. Inshallah, next time this section was small.
Sister, inshallah.
Okay.
Jazakallah.
Well, yeah. So if you can read it, maybe or they can read the question on the.
Oh, there's a question. Cleanliness is half of the faith. Says it is on the masjid front door.
Yes. Good. But it's also in authentic narrations too. But you're right. It's good,
I
mashallah.
don't know who that is.
That's good. No, but you know what? The good thing that, mashallah, so therefore, yeah, it is on masjid doors. And alhamdulillah, at least I know you're coming to our masjid, mashallah. Mashallah, may Allah, and the musalla, and the entrance, and the, mashallah. That's a good, I will tell the brother that put them so that he can feel happy about that contribution. Any other questions, inshallah?
The only question, when will this be on YouTube? Just so I can like refresh and take notes.
It's currently on YouTube, so I can send the link on the essentials class, inshallah.
Perfect. Thank you, inshallah.
Afwan. So I will maybe edit that breakup and see, yeah, inshallah.
So are we taking what we're doing now for all of the different madhabs, or are we just going to do?
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that as a structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then later on, we can like look at different positions. Like if something comes up, taking in consideration our reality, I bring up like these are the different rulings and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But if we get to that, it's just vast. It's a lot of details. So we just want to just learn the structure, and this is like the skeleton in the Shafi madhab, and at least you can say that I'm studying it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Later on, if you like, if you want to explore something else,
Mm-hmm.
then I can refer to some books and so on. But I think that's it's good to have, because we have a good decent amount of books translated in the school,
Mm-hmm.
and there are some, but it's just scattered. Let me just quickly show you something. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Daniel.
What? Yes.
Yeah, it's a quick question. So let's say you see somebody like eating with their left hand, right? Because I'm left-handed, right?
Yeah.
So like you know, is somebody who's left-handed, do they have to eat with their right hand? Or it's because it's not like you want to eat with the left hand, you just happen to be left-handed.
Okay. Yeah. So it's good to eat with your right hand.
Right.
If you're eating a steak, you need help.
Yeah.
So you
Sure.
grab it and you enjoy it, because you're not gonna enjoy the steak and you're gonna be shy. You need to grab that, and just like devour it to the best of your ability, so you get the full satisfaction. So that's fine. I mean, it's good to remind the people to do that. Sometimes it's good that the sunnah is to eat and drink with your right hand. These are the practice of the Prophet ﷺ. And they come as like sunnah mu'akkada that the Prophet never abandoned it. So it goes really like close to obligatory, but it's still under the grade of sunnah. Let's say somebody lost his right arm in the battlefield, and serving the army, regardless of what army, serving the army, lost his right arm. How are you gonna feed him? We're not gonna feed him. So it is permissible by necessity for that person to use the left hand. Let's say that person has the arm, but has some defect, like advanced level of carpal tunnel, and so that cannot like really enjoy the food, and so he is better than. So there's exceptions, right? That's why if it would become forbidden, then not doing it becomes haram. You see that? Like that's why there's flexibility. So I want to just show you something. So there's a library. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This library here. I hope it comes up. No, I don't want Twitter, but anyways, all right. I guess not. Let me go back. I'll show you. Do you see the screen? Not the Twitter, just this one. This on the right side. All right. So here, right, there is the first one is a summary of Imam Nawawi's At-Tibyan. So that's the first one. If you go here, you see it, etiquette of the Quran. That's is not pulled up. Let me Bismillah. All right, there you go. Now?
No, shit. Think you're sharing on one screen.
No, it's what am I sharing? Let me just
And those on Zoom can see it like that.
all right, so let's try this. Anyway, so let's see. Let's try this. No, do you see it? No? Oh, wow. Okay. So anyways, next time, next time I would share the pictures, inshallah ta'ala. So let me see. Stop sharing. No? Okay. One more try. We shouldn't give up. All right. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Musa Ferber bundle, right? So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This one, right? All right. So the first one is, so he usually gives a package, and we can get it for like 100 and something, the whole set, right? So the first, if you look at this one, is the etiquette with the Quran, right? This is by Imam Nawawi at Tibyan fi Hamad al-Quran, the etiquette of handling the Quran. Do you guys see it online or no?
But they can see your screen.
No, but I want to be fair, man. I can't. Now you see it?
Yeah.
Tell me, Jonathan, do you see it?
Yeah, they can see.
All right, cool.
Yes.
So the first one is actually a summary of that, because this one it has a lot of details, right? The second book is Infamies of the Soul by Abu Abdurrahman al-Sulami, who's like one of the earliest like scholars of tasawwuf, right? And so it's like it's just themes, and it gives explanation of these things like purification, like honesty, like like vices, and it gives the vices and how to treat them. So it's very simple. It's like a medicine as well. Then this one here, the green one's like a beast. This one has two books. It has Ibn Hajar Asqalani's Nuqbat al-Fikr, which is a text that is so difficult that he himself explained it in another text with examples. All right, that's technical. And in it is also Ibn al-Mulaqqin's book At-Tadhkira, which is also in Hadith, because Ibn al-Mulaqqin has this book in the bottom, the evident memorandum. That is the Tadhkira in fiqh. And he also wrote the Tadhkira in hadith. So this is that text, hadith terminology and so on. Then move forward. We skip these two little ones. The encompassing epistle. This is actually, this is actually smaller than Main Abi Shuja. It's in Fiqh As Shafi, but it has the first chapter on Aqidah, right, or faith. The second chapter on the ibadat, very brief, and the third chapter are on protecting the heart from vices. So he has a format of Imam al-Ghazali's works, right? Then you have the Main Abi Shuja. Then you have al-Waraqat, the Sharh al-Waraqat, the annotation from Imam al-Mahalli on Imam al-Juwayni's Waraqat, on Usul al-Fiqh, the sources of the law. Then you have he translated a book on Hanbali acts of worship as well, and also something for and then Accessible Conspectus is actually an explanation of this. All right, so it's a good explanation, right, of every point, right? Yeah, the reason I have most of the books. I haven't used it. I don't use it. I'm not using it. It's not because I think we're more inclined towards going straight to the hadith, the proofs from the sayings of the Prophet as a first step, right? Then the next step will be reading that book, which has like a nice fiqh approach to it, right? Very simple, and it's a good base. Then the next one will be like the evident memorandum is also fiqh book, same structure. And it's like this. Yeah, no, I'm saying like, so what I did with some of my students in Texas is that I made them buy these books, and we're actually almost done. Yeah. So this is like a program. You see that? Like, so because we have this available, then it's a good program to like go through it, right? And in the English language, it's available. And then we can, introduce things that are in the Arabic language and go through it as well. So just want to show you that these things are available. I don't want you to like just see things and buy them, right? Because then we just start exploring and we kind of burn out, and we don't want that to occur. So therefore, I would recommend the best thing would be to kind of just let's stick to this program, stick to like whatever we read. Like right now we read from page we're done from Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim from 3 to 5. So what I want you to do is every day at least read it once in English, right? In English, read it once, the 7th, and read it like this. And you in your book put, and the 7 types of waters that are permissible, 7, or he has it. Purification is possible, but in the Arabic it starts with water. Al-miyahu allati yajuzu biha tathiru sab'u miyah. So what it means is, I would change for possible, the water that are permissible to use, to purify with, are 7. The water that are permissible to purify with are 7, right? Al-miyahu allati yajuzu, permissible, tathiru, purification, biha, with it, tathiru sab'u miyah. And I don't think people biha. Let me just double check because I'm pretty sure it's biha. But
Because juju is like permissible, right?
I thought yajuzu biha. Yeah, he got it. Yajuzu biha tathiru sab'u miyah. So that's, so then you say that, and then you read the 7: rain, sea, seawater, river water, well water, spring water, snow, and hail. So you read it, right? Once you do it every day, you kind of it sinks in. Right. Later on, we read the proofs. Right. We can read the proofs. Like Sister Sabrina, the top shelf, it says bulugh. No, right there, right in front of you, right in front of you. That one, yeah, bulugh. Yes. Give me that book. I'm almost done because it's almost Maghrib, but I just want to show you. I want to show you how we can do it. So Bulugh al-Maram is similar to Umdat al-Ahkam in Hanbali fiqh, which is just a hadith. Kevin, do me a favor, close the door, please.
Yes.
Just we don't want no other sign of sound effects.
Yeah.
All right. So Imam Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Imam Ibn Hajar Asqalani compiled this collection of actually 1597 hadith. In this version of Darus Salam, I kind of know why they did it. It's not out of ill intent, but they only compiled 1,300 and something hadith. Okay, so let's go to, for example, the Book of Taharah, right? It was really under authority of Abu Huraira that the Prophet ﷺ said that the seawater is pure and the dead of it are pure. The other hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, that verily water is pure, water is pure, and nothing can make it impure. All right, by nature, unless it is corrupted, right? Unless it's mixed, then it's not water. Okay, and then Abu Umam al-Bahili said that the Messenger of Allah said that الماء لا ينجس شيء إلا ما غلب على ريحه وطعمه ولونه. This is the hadith for what I said, right? That water does not become impure unless it is overcome by the smell, the taste, and the drink changes, right? And some say, right, that some say that this hadith is related by Ibn Majah and that it is weak, and Bayhaqi reported it as well, and so on. So then, it is weak. So now you come and say, why does the author relate a weak hadith? A weak hadith is not a rejected hadith. These are the three categories of hadith. So before the author sharing an opinion of his own, he'll relate a weak hadith. And also maybe this hadith was the only thing that at that time when it was related in the old school, it was always available. Okay, so there's still some proof. Okay, and there's a difference between a weak hadith and a fabricated hadith. All right, so then again, there's another. So this is all related to related to water, right? Related to water. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Then it goes about purifying yourself in stagnant water, or right. What about the cat? If a cat drinks from your water, laysa binajis, it is not impure because it is an animal that frequents you. Okay, so these are all hadith. Now it goes the second chapter. What is it? After the water, what is the chapter in the book? Yeah.
Oh, no tanning.
So here he puts the utensils, right? So لا تشربوا في آنية الذهب. Don't drink from gold utensils. الذي يشرب, whoever drinks from it and uses silk, is put in his tummy fire from hell. And then so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَالدِّبَاغ جُلُودُ مَيْتَةٍ طَهُورٌ. So tanning, it purifies the hide of the dead animal, right? So this is about tanning. And then it talks about how to clean the impurities. This is in a future chapter, but here, the vinegar and all this. So this is all a hadith about that. Then the wudu, Babul wudu, right? Then all the hadith about wudu. And this has annotation from a popular explanation by Subul as-Salam. So the bottom is explanation of the hadith, and it relates some details. right? If you go to Umdat al-Ahkam, right? Umdat al-Ahkam, the chapter is, for example, Kitab al-Tahara. It starts with the intention, and then بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا تودع أحدكم فليجعل في أنفه ماء وليستنشق. So this is the dalil about the Sunnah acts of wudu as well, right? The hadith about washing your nose, about the ruling of wudu. Salah is not acceptable for any of you who broke his wudu until he makes wudu. And then لا يغتسل أحدكم في الماء الدائم. You don't purify yourself in water that is still. You don't take a shower in it. If a dog drank from a pot and ina, then wash it. Wash the pot 7 times. One time with turab, one time with soil. So this is about the saliva. So the Hanbalis also agree that the saliva of the dog is impure, according to the Shafi school and the Hanbali school. And so this is the same thing, same order, right? Kitab al-Siyam, Kitab Tahara, Salah, same structure. So these are called collections of hadith of rulings. We're learning the skeleton of rulings.
Quick question.
Naam.
So all schools of thought say that the dog is impure, correct?
Nope. Well, we're studying the Shafi school, but no.
Shafi and Hanbali, right?
Yeah, and I believe the Hanafis as well.
Okay,
Malikis, no.
no
But
problem.
you'll be surprised, and because you'll be surprised, and why I'm saying that, because we know the reality of where we live in.
Right.
Okay? We know the reality of where we live in. Our neighbors, our co-workers, everybody has a puppy. Oh, I used to be a puppy. So therefore, I would go by necessity based on our reality, because it is permissible to do so with the opinion of the Malikis in that regards.
Okay.
If I go visit my family members and I disrespect their dog who's loyal to them, who cares for them, I might not be invited again. So and it's more important for me to try to be present with them and not make the dog an obstacle, because I have to because I want to be able to present to them Islam, and that's a bigger priority, right? So so now I have to choose between two goods and two evils, and I have to, so because of necessity, I just go, this is the reality in this country, and our families are mostly non-Muslims, and maybe all of them have dogs or multiple dogs. So we take the easy route, and that, not the easy route, but what makes it easier on us to navigate those realities. All right? All right. Barakallahu feekum. It's almost time for Maghrib, inshallah. May Allah bless you all. Thank you all for attending. May Allah reward you. Yeah, you can have a dog outside. And in some places, you have a dog inside because some people prefer to have a dog instead of having having a gun, right? No, really. Like if you go to Houston, home invasions are no joke. You have 10 people coming into the back of your door and tying up your family and putting them in the second floor. When they hear a nice dog that sounds pretty intimidating, they'll go to the next house, right? And now somebody that's comfortable with having a collection of guns, then that's a different story. So when necessity arises, then it's allowed in Islam to have it as a guard dog, to have it as a service pet that has medically been prescribed. It is permissible, right? And if you have it prior to accepting Islam, then that that's from before, okay? So there's all these different rulings, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah make it easy, inshallah. Barakallah.
Assalamu alaikum. This Rashid, sorry to interrupt so late because I had to stop and make my grill because I'm an hour ahead of you guys. But a quick question in regards to the dog being haram. In regards to al-calf, when they talk about the the brothers having the believers having a dog in the cave. Can you just expound on that in brief?
And that wasn't even their dog. That was these youth that were believers, that wasn't even their dog. That was a strange dog. That was a dog that actually spoke. If you go to the tafsir, the explanation of Surah Al-Kahf from Mufti Shafi, the father of Mufti Taqi Usmani, rahimahullah ta'ala, rahimahullah to Mufti Shafi, who passed away, and he wrote the book, the tafsir Ma'arif al-Quran. In the tafsir, it says that when the boys were going away seeking refuge from being killed when they were warned for 3 days, that the dog was with the farmer, and the dog began to bark at them, and they began to grab like stones, right? And the dog spoke, and the dog said, "My owner is upon the religion of the king, the one that's trying to kill you guys. But I believe in your Lord. Can you take me with you?" And the dog went with them. And then the dog was their protector. The dog sat on the cave protecting them while they slept for 300 to 309 years.
I absolutely need a copy of that tafsir.
See that, Rashid?
This conversation is a multitude of repeats. And the more I know about this, the better for myself. I'm just trying to learn.
But don't look for a farmer with a dog, all right?
No, it's just that right now, where I'm at now, I am visiting people who own a dog,
Exactly.
a pit bull that I'm not going to try to move out his space.
No.
So I'm just
yeah, we want you to make it safely, and also keep making it safely to Zoom.
I mean,
all right. So I gotta go pray Maghrib, inshallah.